Welcome to Integrity Linguistics Institute. Here, reason-based questions, right? So reason is basically like you have to basically understand like why. So why basically means the intention behind the message, right? So why does the speaker say something? Okay, so intention, the purpose, and also what is the cause? Okay, there is a reason, right, behind a decision. So we will discuss something called cause and effect. Okay, so that is a little bit of a detailed session. So I'll give you some information regarding what are cause and effect based questions. Okay, so this comes under reason based questions. And again, so here, if you identify that this is a reason based questions, then you have to focus. You have to tell yourself, okay, my duty is to focus on these type of information. The speaker's explanation. See, someone is telling you their reason why they're here. So they're explaining it. Okay, they're giving the explanation over here. They're giving examples. They're using comparisons. Okay, so that is when, like, for example, if I'm asking, someone, why were you absent yesterday? So, see, why? Why means what was the reason for your absenteeism yesterday? So that student will give me an explanation. So I was absent yesterday because of so and so. Okay, so if it is a reason-based question, or say if it's a reason-based question, that is our duty is to understand why, you know, they did something, then there will be one explanation there. Okay, so you have to tell yourself, okay, the speaker is most likely to explain one thing. So that is where I have to focus on. The reason behind a behavior. Now, see, reason-based questions means the purpose. So they did a behavior, they did something, they said something. What is the reason behind it? So here they are not going to directly say it. All right, they are not going to directly say it. You have to bring in your inference skills. Okay, you have to bring in your own conclusion skills and what motivates a choice or action. Okay, so that is if I give you the actual practice, it becomes easy for you. So let's give you some practical tips. So I'll be sharing this document with you later on. So you can, make some notes from this document, right? So on your examination day, okay, so that is the most important thing. On your examination day, the knowledge that I'm giving you should help you. Okay, the knowledge I'm giving you should give you maximum efficiency. So let's talk about the practical tips over here. So in yesterday's session, we talked about effective pre-listening skill, right? That is, even before the audio begins, the skills and strategies begins, right? So there is something called as the question stem. What is the meaning of question stem? Question stem basically means the focal point of the question. Okay, you have to understand what is the focal point of the question. That is what your duty over here is. So that recognition is extremely important. You need to understand, okay, this is what I am supposed to find. I have to find an opinion. I have to find a purpose. Okay, I have to find an explanation. So that accurate, what do you call it, like that accurate identification or recognition is extremely important, and that should happen before the audio starts. So that is why they give you 90 seconds time, right? And then on an examination day, as I told you, how that, like, it is extremely important that you constantly interact with the question paper. So with your pencil, you have to underline the important words. So there will be some keywords like things, reason, experience. So these are certain keywords that is giving you clues. Okay, it is giving you a hint, it is giving you a clue what type of questions we are dealing with. And then you need to predict. Okay, that is, you have to anticipate. Okay, this is the type of question. So for example, if it is a reason-based question, then you have to predict, okay, that this is a reason-based question. So therefore, there will be an explanation. Okay, so like that, you should be able to predict what kind of information you need to listen for. And this should happen even before the audio starts to play. Okay, so these are certain tips. Now, when you're listening, okay, so when you're listening to these type of questions, you have to stay alert for certain words, which we call as signal phrases. Now, see, I think, opinion, right? I think, okay, opinion, right? So if it is an opinion based question, so this is a signal phrase that is expressing the point of view, okay, the viewpoint of the speaker. Now, if it is a reason-based questions. See, for example, I'm asking you like, why were you absent yesterday? I'm just giving a normal casual experience. So they will tell I was absent yesterday because I had to go to a function, right? So because, okay, so that is one phrase, that is one word which act as a signal phrase that is indicating now the speaker is giving a reason, an explanation. In my view, now see, in my point of view. So the speaker is saying, in my point of view, it directly indicates now the person is speaking about their opinions. So you have to stay alert. Okay. So you don't have to give importance to every single word they're saying. The OET gives you some clues. Okay. So this is how, like, before they actually say the answer, they give you these type of signal phrases. So for every question, there are certain signal phrases, and that skill you need to identify. Right. Next is, don't get distracted by extra details. So the OET is very, very cunning. Okay. Always expect the OET to be very cunning. Okay. They act very, clever. Okay. They are very, very smart. They are very, very clever. So we should also be very, very smart. Okay. So that is why you need to have clarity. This is what I am going to listen to. Okay. This is what I need. Okay. So see, for example, if they're going to ask you about an opinion. Okay. So if your duty over here is to find the opinion of the speaker, then there is no need to give importance to facts. See, what is a fact? Fact basically means, actual, like, facts and events. Okay, facts basically means a truth. Okay, something that happened. Okay, so for example, we can say, let's say, like, what can I say? Okay, so I'm saying Japanese food is the best. Okay, this is an opinion. Okay, so this is basically an opinion because I'm saying that Japanese food is, best. So that is an opinion. Now, what about this sentence over here? Indian foods use masalas. And again, I'm using like very, very like simple examples to make you understand. And Japanese foods don't use, masala powder, because only Indian people use a lot of masalas. All right. Okay. So anyway, now what is this information? Now this information is fact. Okay. It is a truth. Okay. It is a truth that Indian foods use masalas, Japanese foods don't use masala. That is a fact over here. But what is your duty? Your duty is to find the opinion. Okay. The opinion of the speaker. So this is what you have to find out. So when your duty is to find the opinion, the facts are not important. That is, what is an established truth? That is not all important. So here, these type of words, that is like, see, I think, in my view, okay, and then there the speaker is saying Japanese food is the best, then you can say, okay, that is an opinion. So this is what I need to find out. So here you should have the ability to not get distracted by useless information. See, these are all extra details in the sense like facts. Okay, so you should have that ability. Okay, so when you're listening, okay, that is a fact. That is a fact that is trying to distract me. Okay, this is not important to me, and you should be able to not give it that much focus. And when they talk about their opinion, then you have to become alert. Okay, because they will use certain signal phrases, and then you have to become extremely attentive and find the correct answer. Okay, so this is something you have to do when you're listening to the audio. Okay, so focus on the speaker's main point. And then it is extremely important that you eliminate the answer options. Right, so see, OET has done their level best to make it as simple as possible. So if you really want to appreciate OET, if you really want to fall in love with OET, you just do one thing, go and practice one IELTS material, go and practice one TOEFL material, go and practice one PTE material, go and practice one GRE material, go and practice one Duolingo material. So there are so many language proficiency tests over there. Okay, and I guarantee you that for medical professionals, that the most relatable types of question paper comes only from the OET. Right. So the OET is actually doing their level best to make it as simple for you. And that is why they have given you multiple choice questions. In all the other types of exams, you will not be getting MCQs too much. There'll be so many different types of questions that is extremely challenging. So here, since we are dealing with multiple choice questions, okay, especially in part B and part C, our duty is to find one single correct answer. But finding one correct answer means eliminating two incorrect answer options. So you have to, refine the skill to eliminate the incorrect answer options one by one. That is, you have to eliminate the content that is not clearly supported by the audio. That is, you really have to understand what the question is asking you, and you should be able to, eliminate. Okay, they are saying this. Okay, they are saying that, they are not saying this, they are not saying that, and this information is not supported by the question or by the audio. So therefore, I should eliminate it. So if you eliminate two answer options, automatically you have found the correct answer. Right. So that is how important elimination strategy is. Right. Now, what should you do after listen? Now, see, this is how you have to practice OET: before listening, during listening, and after listening. So now they give you, some time. Okay, they give you like 2-3 seconds they will give you before they actually, transition to the next question. All right. So anyway, after you listen to that particular audio section, choose the answer that matches the speaker's exact words or meaning. So you have to like listen, and then you again that inference skills you have to bring in, that conclusion brings you coming, and that answer option which you feel is the most suitable. Okay, so that is what you have to avoid assumptions. That is, assumption basically means guessing. Okay, so don't spend too much time overthinking. This is what some students do. They overthink a lot. They, guess a lot, and because of that overthinking and over assumptions, they make certain mistakes. So if it is not said, then not selected. Okay, so if that information is not mentioned in the audio, even if one tiny portion, like see, sometimes we get very, very long, lengthy answer options, but even one single part of that information is not mentioned. One tiny part also, if it is not mentioned, then we cannot choose it. So if it is not mentioned, then don't select it. Okay, and always focus on the question stem. Okay, that is the focal point of the question. So always keep the memory of the question in your mind. Okay, and only then you have to finalize your answer. Okay, so these are certain things that you have. These are certain tips I can give you, and it only develops through consistent practice. Okay, no one becomes an expert from day one or day two itself. It takes time. Okay, so here let's take a look into the different question types. So if it is an opinion-based question, okay, like it is basically asking you, so that it is basically testing you whether you can identify the views and observations of the speaker. So there will be some signal phrases like I think, okay, in my experience. So those type of phrases indicate, okay, this is the opinion, or they're talking about the reasons. So your focus over here. So where should you focus? On personal beliefs or work, related insights. If it is a reason-based question, then it is basically asking you to find the cause. Okay, again, cause and effect, that's a different topic that once we deal with the question, I'll try to explain to you. And so here, because, now see, reason means they will use words such as because, due to, so. Okay, so these are some words: so, due to, because of this. So these are certain signal words that are related to reason-based questions. Okay, so here your focus should be on why something happened. Okay, so this is what we'll be discussing today. Okay, so a small recap. So listening part C, you will be asked to find out attitudes, feelings, opinions, belief systems, and reasons, that is purpose. Okay, everything will be multiple choice questions. There will be opinion-based questions. Here you have to identify the belief system or what the speaker is thinking. And this is what you have to focus on: personal views, feelings, judgments. Then we have reason types questions. You have to focus on why the speaker is saying something. And you have to give more importance on explanation, reasons, behavior, and all that.